Could you tell us a Jesus story that's very important for you?
There are so many that are very important. But one that stands out for me is the feeding of the 5,000. I especially like the story in Mark because Mark talks about sitting the people down on the green grass in this deserted place, and it gives this idea of abundance. But the story is important because it's not just the same abundance that we would think of. And there are two important parts of the story for me. One is that when the disciples complain about all of this people and how they are hungry, Jesus says, you give them something to eat. And it's like, even me, with whatever few gifts I have, God can use for God's work in the world. And that God does use us to do God's work. So that's important to me. And the second part of it that's important is that this abundance isn't this phenomenal feast of a king that is served to the people. It is the ordinary fish and ordinary bread of the people. Their very ordinary diet. And they are satisfied. And so for me it talks to me about what is enough in our world. And especially coming from the north, what is enough sometimes keeps needing to be a little bit more. And our materialism, our consumption, I think Jesus challenges us in this story for a different idea of abundance where all have enough. And what do I have to give up so that others may have enough? Those are the challenges to me, my whole life actually, but the story reiterates that challenge to me.
And could you summarize the very truth of the story for you, for your life?
Perhaps that God uses whatever we are, whoever we are, whatever gifts that God gives us. God can multiply those in ways by which all needs can be met. There can be enough for all. But that it also challenges me and not just me, I think we can say those in the north who maybe have more resources are specifically challenged. But I think all of us are challenged because there are different levels of wealth wherever we go, and some people have more than others. And what do we have to give up so that all may have enough? I guess that's the truth that speaks to me.
Okay. You were talking about challenges, and in the Bible there's written, the truth shall set us free. From what does this truth set you free?
From an identity that is based on what I own in my material possessions and what I have as opposed to what others don't have. It frees me from that completely.
And what is the nasty thing about your material position? Because we are talking about freeing and saving. What is so bad as having a material abundance?
We can get so consumed by it that it becomes a very self-centered motivation for us, and we forget about the needs of other people. And Jesus was here to help us care about the needs of other people and not just ourselves.
Are there moments, real moments in daily life that you can remember that you say, well, thanks to stories like these, I'm free. I can free myself from things that I do not like?
I suppose I'm not one to remember specific details, but certainly in the day-to-day when you're deciding, should I buy this or should I buy that, or the questions come up for me. Do I need it? Do I have enough? Where should my resources be going to help others? And just to help me make those decisions, because it's not just what I buy day to day, but in the north what we all buy day to day that affects our partner provinces, that affects the world globally. By what we think we need in the north, it can strip resources from the south. And so those questions we each need to be asking day by day, I think.
I know the enough is enough philosophy. But it's all also ruling in secular minds, but for you it's a belief. For you it's connected to Jesus. What is that connection?
In the U.S., and I don't know if in other places, there's a predominant thought of what we call a prosperity gospel, that Jesus is about all of us prospering and having many things, and to me that's not what Jesus is about. Jesus is about simplicity and loving others and caring for others and not getting caught up with our possessions. And and oftentimes our possessions and our material world interferes with our spiritual relationship with Christ. It gets in the way, it becomes our God in many senses. So to strip ourselves of that, to say enough is enough, I think is really important.